welcome to how to instill confidence before an interview. So we know confidence overall is a state of mind or state of being where we are trusting in ourselves to accomplish something. There's some level of trust in our own abilities to get the job done, whatever task that is facing us at the moment. But sometimes it's quite possible that confidence before an interview or an upcoming event can feel a bit shaky, a bit uncertain. So we'll cover in this recording how to ensure that your confidence remains intact so that while you have a bit of nervous energy, and it's important to acknowledge that nervous energy doesn't necessarily mean lack of confidence. Nervous energy really is just the energy that is going through your system, your nervous system, as you prepare for something that is unknown. You're preparing for a performance, and so the adrenaline is kicking in, and this keeps you alert. Nervous energy in itself does not equal lack of confidence. So what exactly is confidence? Let's break this down. We're looking at the word con and fide, right? Con or ko, meaning with, and then fide from the word fidelity, which means loyalty or trust. And so if we look at this, the pure etymology of this word, we're talking about trust or loyalty in something or someone or ourselves. If we apply this to the career development, career success space, we are talking about career confidence. And so this means trust in ourselves to have the skills and ability to achieve whatever that goal is. Of course, in the many dimensions in the career success or job search journey, you do have a number of skill sets that you have to become competent at so that you get past the number of these stages. You have your phone screens, you have your in-person meetings, you have your networking, you have your job search or job hunting, finding leads. Then you go on site, you have your technical interviews, you have your pair programming. There are a number of activities involved in this job search process that does demand of you or ask of you that you have a certain level of confidence, a certain level of trust in your ability to achieve. When you are confident, you trust yourself to be the best that you can be. In the pre-interview confidence phase, however, though, let's just put the scenario at the day before. This is being recorded on a Friday. And so let's say that your interview is on a Monday. Now you have between now, Saturday and Sunday to prepare for that interview. You may have also a portion of Monday. And while you may feel confident overall, the thoughts that take place prior to this interview can, in some form, if they're not handled or they're not managed, they can begin to shake up your standard or your foundational confidence. So we're going to look at a few areas to consider to ensure that your confidence stays in place. The first is research. And if you've listened to a few of the other recordings, you know that company research is important. In order for you to pinpoint your conversations and be precise as possible with how you respond, you want to have a sense of what that company is about and also the opportunity that is laying before you. So we look at these different areas. Ensure that you have researched. You've looked into their social media. You've gone to their Instagram, their Twitter. You've gone to their LinkedIn, and you've read, enough where you feel comfortable that you have some awareness of what they're doing currently and the kind of engagement that they have taking place. Remember, these different platforms have different uses. They are utilized for different purposes. There's different kind of content that they are sharing. If you are looking at their Twitter, for example, you may be looking at very brief overviews of something that's happening in the news. You may also see posts that they retweet, and so it's telling you what they share, what they care about, what is important to the brand, to the company. It's also telling you about values. What they share is what they care about. If you're looking at YouTube, you're looking likely at some type of guided tour, some kind of internal view of the company. You may also be looking at the kind of knowledge that they want to share to the world. They may have tutorials and walkthroughs. They may have some kinds of interviews there. So give some attention to those because it gives you another sense of how they are internally. If you're looking at their Instagram, if they have one, or their Pinterest, you are looking at, especially their Instagram, you're looking at internal perspectives. Some of these companies like to show that they enjoy pets, so you may see a lot of animal pictures. You might see a lot of travel photos. You might see a lot of casual conversation. You might see a lot of people having fun. Whatever the theme is, you're getting a sense of the values within this company just by examining the social media pages. Also looking at the About page. The About page is on their website, or should be, and this would be a much more formal way of describing who they are. Remember, everything on their page, as we've discussed in the past recordings, everything on their websites are targeted. They're not done randomly. There's likely a lot of thought and logic put in place to present what is shown, down to the image, down to the themes, the colors, the fonts. So their pages are presented in a certain way. When you look at their About page, they're telling you formally who they are, what their mission is. Of course, you want to study the job description, so you would revisit this a number of times. You would outline that job description, look at those bullet points, find out what skills that they're asking for, find out the ones that you do have, the ones that you don't have. How do you respond to those you don't have? Are you willing to learn? Are you open to learning what is not there for you? You also then can look at the Glassdoor and informational types of interviews. These are ways to gain feedback from a person or human perspective. The Glassdoor will provide you with a number of feedback opportunities if that company is present there. You may have employees providing both positive and negative. And as mentioned from our previous recordings, you don't want to take all of those literally and allow those to form your sole view of the organization. You take the feedback from the Glassdoor and combine it with everything else that you have come to learn about the company. That becomes your more holistic perspective. Information interviews. We've talked about this in previous recordings as well, how you work on securing information interviews. These are different from your apply type interviews. Information interviews enable you to talk to employees who have some level of involvement. They may be currently working there, or they may be past employees, past staff, someone who has an affiliation with the organization. You can talk to them, reach out and schedule some time to chat so that you can gain another perspective on how the organization works. What are their values? What's it like being in that engineer role? So doing this research will help you with this level of confidence, where you feel more comfortable in having conversations tailored to the opportunity, tailored to the company. Another component to this pre-interview confidence is the practice. We say this very, very often here. It is important to practice your interviews. Just as you would practice for a sporting event, you would practice for an audition if you were an actor or an actress. You would practice your rehearsal or performance in most every field. The job interview is no different. You want to be able to practice how this can go. So we highlight 3 areas here. Your audio recording. You can practice by speaking your answers to interview questions. Use your phone, smartphone if you have, and then you can practice responding. You can practice hearing yourself when you play it back so that you can hear the tones and the energy in the voice. You will be much more aware of what to adjust when necessary. You can do this same kind of recording when you practice the video. So you can video record yourself. You just use the same phone. Hold the phone up, record yourself answering so that you get a visual of what you look like and how you sound when you are practicing your interview responses. Practicing with peers and career success. Practicing with people live. You can practice with peers you're comfortable with. You can practice with someone who is a bit less familiar to you, and that will challenge you to be a bit more formal. Practicing with friends can help you to experiment a bit more because now you're testing out. It's a less formal environment. You test out different ways of responding and see what works for you. Practicing with your career success counselor, of course, is essential. We are holding on to tools and ways of thinking and patterns that can support and help you tweak your responses, help you improve your conversation. So practice as part of enhancing your pre-interview confidence. Let's get to one of the most important components. This is the foundational component, which is the mindset. Important to know, your self image influences your confidence. Your self image is a collection of beliefs, thoughts, ideas, assumptions, ways of seeing that you have collectively about yourself. And that totality forms this whole image that says internally, you are ready, you have the skills, you have the capacity, you have the opportunity, and you are ready to go for this opportunity. You are ready and worthy to secure it. On the opposite side, a self image that says that you are not good enough, you are not ready, you are not prepared, you cannot do it, and any other kinds of negative or downward self talk can diminish that confidence. So, some bullet points here: speak positively to yourself in the morning and the evening. This sounds very simple, but be surprised how often, if we don't monitor our thoughts, we float into the uncertain or into the negative. Speaking positively about ourselves verbally so we can hear it is just as important as speaking in our minds where we are thinking positively. The recommendation here is do it in the morning. When you wake up, just say a line or an affirmation to yourself. You are a good software engineer. You are a great software engineer. You have the skills to be a software engineer. You can acquire the job. You can secure the job. You are ready for this. You are going to perform at your best. Whatever your statements are, ensure that they are positive. They're speaking directly to you or to yourself. And the morning is helpful because you're just waking up from sleep and you are susceptible. Well, more susceptible, just as in the evening, in the subconscious, to receiving messages of this sort. If you've seen some of the research on television and the smartphones, it is advised to be cautious about the content that we are exposing ourselves to in the morning, in the morning and in the evening, because of this subconscious susceptibility. We are just much more receptive during these times. So in the morning and as well as the evening before you go to sleep and you're feeling drowsy and you are in a much more receptive state, you can begin to speak your positive statements and your affirmations to yourself. You can review past work and acknowledge your previous success. This is another that will feed your positive mindset and your confidence. If you really actually boil down your work and write your content down, write down exactly what you have done in your past work. This could be from full stack, it could be from a previous project, and just let your mind write this stuff down. Or you can just review it or reflect on it. You will see that you have accomplished quite a bit. I reflect on the 2 to 4 day projects that you might have experienced with your stackathon or a hackathon, where you had to complete a project in a short time frame. Right, we're looking at two days or so, and if you utilize the weekend, perhaps 4 days. But many, not most of you, have gone through a process of having no knowledge of a system or software or technology, and you had to acquire that knowledge. And then you had to implement that knowledge so that your work at the end was functional. And even though the project was not either perfected or completed or to your liking, the fact that you were able to not know something and then arrive at knowledge and then go from that position to implementation, and then you can present something, to do that in such a short amount of time is a testament of your ability to learn and grow in this space. So review your past work and acknowledge that you have done a great job that enabled you, empowered you to complete the curriculum, which speaks to your readiness on the technical side. You can create an environment that supports a positive image, and this goes into the subtleties of mindset, which everything around you influences the mind. So therefore, it is important to be mindful of what you are looking at, messages that you're receiving through images, through writing. You can set up positive messages on your desktop. You can set up messages on your phone. You can save images that speak to you and build up your confidence, images that you connect to. You can watch movies that you connect to and help to uplift your positive self-image. You can talk with friends, connect with people who you resonate with, and that helps to build up your positive self-image. All of that external consists of the environment. On the flip side, we'll go to that bullet of removing negative self-image content from your environment. So if you know what does build up your self-image, you then can start finding distinction in what doesn't. And this may also include people. There may be people who are not supportive, and that speaks to the next bullet here, avoiding rumors and what if feedback from other people. As you're going through this process of the job search and you're researching companies and you're having meetings and you're going to networking, you're going to receive a lot of information from multitudes of perspectives. And it is important for you to have sort of a guard and independence of mind where you can take that feedback and not see it as law or not see it as total fact, but a person's perspective, unless they're giving you numbers and specific data that can confirm facts. Otherwise, rumors then can sit in your mind, sit in your subconscious, and sort of twist or alter your perspective. Let's give an example. You are interviewing with, let's say you are interviewing with, what's a good company? Let's say Whole Foods, right? There's a software engineer position needed at a Whole Foods, and you hear from some people that Whole Foods doesn't have a good benefits plan, right? You just heard it. Someone told you that. And so if you absorb that, you are now considering, without having met anyone from Whole Foods, you're considering an assumption that they just don't have good benefits. Perhaps they're not a good place to work at because they don't have good benefits. And then what kind of benefits do they have? Oh, it then transforms into their benefits suck. Their benefits are not good. You have then moved from rumor to confirmation in your own mind, and you have not even had your interview yet. So just be mindful of rumors and perspectives that exist only in another person's view, and being able to distinguish that from facts, right, and data that speak truth. Ways to build up the environment, of course, music, right, testimonials, feedback, letters, images, and books if you enjoy reading. The mindset changes in the subconscious. And this is why we recommend being able to speak these things during the morning and then also in the evening time. Other times to speak these messages when your subconscious is susceptible is when you are feeling distressed, if you are feeling out of your usual mind, if you are feeling uncertain about something. These are sort of openings in the subconscious that enable certain mind programs to be inserted. A very good book for this, for future reference, is called Virus of the Mind. The author's name escapes me, but you can find that on Amazon as well as Audible, and it talks specifically about this process of an idea acting like a virus that can infiltrate the mind and spread, even if that mind idea is not true. It becomes true in the mind of the person. Visualize. This is another practice that you can use to help build up your confidence. So I'd like to have you close your eyes now. Visualization does influence performance. We know that Olympic athletes use visualization quite often to augment their performance. So as you close your eyes, just like you to envision yourself sitting at an interview table and you are in an office. And you can make this office the best looking office that you have ever seen, the most attractive colors to you. What does the desk look like? What kind of chair are you sitting on? If you see technology in that office, what is the best, the most optimal technology you would love to be a part of, working with? Imagine it there. And now, let's zoom out on yourself sitting at that table in that office and imagine what you would be wearing at your interview. You can choose the best clothing for yourself, the best colors that would make you feel the most confident sitting at that table. What would they be? Let's zoom in. Focus on your shoes, boots. What are you wearing? What color? Texture? The style? Scan up. Are you wearing pants? Dress? What are you wearing? Choose the colors. Choose the design. Choose the style. What would make you the most confident? And scan up. Shirt, jacket. Really play with this and give yourself the most detail as possible. This is your ideal. This is no limitation. Now scroll up visually and see your face. How do you look? What is your gesture like when you're feeling at your most confident? Is there a twinkle in that eye? How do you smile? How do you sit? What's your posture like? Now, on the other side of the table is someone. This is your interviewer, and you may not know exactly who it's going to be in the physical world, but here, in your imagination, you can create that person who's sitting across from you. And do the same. What are they wearing? Now, zoom out and just observe the conversation. Envision how you are when you're having the most confident conversation with this interviewer. How do you move? What do you say? And how do you say it? Now, you can open your eyes, and if this is done well, what should carry with you is the feeling of confidence more than actually what you're saying and what you're doing. In your interview, how you respond and exactly what you say will be unknown. But you can go in with the consistent feeling of confidence. And through visualization, as many performance artists and specialists and masters know, when you feel it, your mind and your body doesn't know the difference between what is physically here and what is in the imagination. The body just responds. So visualization is another tool that you can use. You can do this in the evening. You can do this during the morning. You can do this throughout your day. And just close your eyes and give yourself some time to create the experience and generate that feeling of confidence, which will carry over. So we covered several areas, ways to help your pre-interview confidence, help remove those jitters. If you do this enough, these practices become a second nature, and so you then don't have a lack of confidence before your interview. You just have the nervous energy, which is adrenaline energy, which is natural for us to be alert for our performance. Any questions? Feel free to reach out to the Career Success team. Be well.